Yeah, thank you, Dilip. Yes, I believe that this is a topic which has been discussed a lot, and there have been a lot of flags saying that we haven't received enough from the government. But yes, there are two very specifically different things which we have to work for. Our action plan has to be separate for the central government and separate for the state regional governments. Central government, yes, we've had a lot of follow-ups by FAITH, HAI, FHRAI, and many other bodies. And I think central government always listens to something which is going to be having a larger vote bank. For them, we are a little low priority, and they require some amount of muscle power or huge negotiation skills. So if we were expecting a fiscal support from the central government, in my view, that was not possible. The government of India did not have the funds, and we are much lower in the priority. Secondly, if you thought that we would get some kind of a cash payouts from them, I think it was not going to be happening because they can't afford to pay the salaries of our staff, which we were hoping. But so that, according to me, that was anyway, we were barking the wrong tree. Coming to the things that we should do, my advice is that, of course, we need to have a strong leadership, and a leadership something which is not worried about that I represent a particular company and what will be the repercussions there. So you need to have something like a Bajaj, a junior Bajaj who spoke for the auto industry. We need something like that. But what we need to do is every time when we take a representation, we should not have more than 3 to 4 listed points. You go with an exhaustive list, normally you never get anything. So that's a very important point for central as well as states. First thing that we need to now ask is, of course, with regard to COVID and post-COVID-19, what are some of the things we should get? And I think first thing is we should ask for waiving of the GST, waiving of all the government levies, like the property tax, police or municipality or excise licenses. If this can be waived off for a 1-year period, it will be a great support to the industry. If there are lease rentals, then they also need to be waived off. And this is one thing that we need to ask post-COVID. Second thing is, I think we need to promote the domestic tourism. We all have understood that we won't get many foreigners this year. To promote the domestic tourism, I think we need to do something what USA has recently done. They are coming up with something like that. They are going to give income tax to travel and come to the hotels. So you get airlines bill and hotel lodging bills. That amount can be taken as a waiver on income tax. Now that's the second thing that we need to look at. Third, I would say, is marketing of destination. I think Sri Lanka, Turkey, Egypt have done a very good job. We need to market India as a destination, and for even domestic tourism, which I think the government can do. We need to make a nice task force, which should have stakeholders, not just some secretaries and ministers, but we need to have the regular stakeholders in this task force. We need to get maybe the World Trade, the Tourism Corporation to give us some certification to say that India is a safe destination. A very important thing that has been pending for a long time is industry status. It has happened that during Indira Gandhi, late Prime Minister's time, and even Manmohan Singh's time, and even Mr. Jaitley's time, that we worked for this industry status. But unless we don't get it, we will not get the benefits that we should be getting as an exporter. We get a lot of foreign exchange. That foreign exchange should not be having any GST attraction. We should get infrastructure status. We should be able to get loans for a 7 to 10 year period, not 5 to 7 year period. So longer moratorium, lesser interest, and of course the electricity tariff and so on. Finally, we need to strengthen the regional tourism. I think what is happening is we're only working towards central tourism, central government, but FHRAI, HAI, and FAITH must have regional bodies because each state has a different issue and different problems. So I think lastly, this is what we need to pay emphasis on. Strengthen the regional tourism also so that we can take it up with regional governments. First and foremost, I think I'm a die-hard optimistic. And so I do tend to see the half glass full. I personally believe that a man is a social animal, and the urge to travel will not really stop. It has been stopped for many months now, 3-4 months, and it will be stopped for a little more time. But I personally feel it should kick back and should bounce back faster than what people sometimes are thinking. Coming to this, during the unlock time, of course, as even Rahul said, that the first would be this resorts, which are small resorts, which are nearby large cities, where it is motorable. You could reach there in 1 hour, 2 hours time. These will be the ones which will pick up faster because they are safer and they have a lot of space available being resorts, and one will find it to be much more safety as well as leisure. The second would, of course, be the 3-star hotels in the city, which I think will get the business coming in because of the rates that they can offer. And pre-vaccine, I mean, and this I personally feel from June, July, and August, I feel we will reach 35% of the last year's business.
We are already in June, Veeru.
Beg your pardon, we're already in June. So now July and August, I mean, Dilip, I have opened the hotels that we run under Trance banner. And my hotels have opened up. I've already started seeing that since I've opened up my business, bookings are kicking in very well. Some weddings are coming in, especially in July and August. So in this quarter I'm talking about, the business will be 35% of what we did last year. Coming to pre-vaccine, of course, I would think that the hotels can be divided into two. Ones which are very dependent to foreign business, which would be like, let us say, Rajasthan Heritage. From October to March, they got a lot of business from foreigners, a lot of groups came in. Those will surely get affected. And I think that's where the base, I think what business they will do October to March will be very less on foreign. They'll have to go towards domestic business. They have to attract them. And so they would do something like 40% of last year. And this is the pre-vaccine, which is the September to March period. And the domestic, where people are getting a lot of domestic tourists, like maybe say Hyderabad, we feel we will come to something like 70% of last year, because there would be a lot of weddings. Already we can see in November, a good amount of bookings coming in. Post-vaccine, I don't know how long it will take, 6 months to 18 months. I'm also not Nostradamus, as Rahul said. So, but let's see, once it happens, I think the bounce back will be much faster. Once the vaccine comes in, I think 3 to 6 months should be the time limit where we can see coming back to the 2019 levels. Now, coming to your question, Dilip, what do we say for small hotels, professionals getting into and coming up with companies which are small properties? I think that's a good future there, because a lot of individual hotel owners do require that support. They are already in difficult financial situations. They require some great directions to be given. They require cost. I mean, we really need to look at different avenues of revenue, which they can't do themselves. They require support in cutting down costs, as I think Rahul talked about some of them. And we need to see how, we can do releasing, because of course, giving a set amount of money will not work. So we'll have to do releasing. So small individual owners will surely like good management companies to come and support them. And some of these hotels cannot be taken by large companies. So I think there is a good opportunity for hoteliers and professionals with small companies. Understand? So I'm just reminded of this phrase that when the time gets tough, the tough get going. So I think it's an important time for all of us to think of that. I know we have to hope for the best and prepare for the worst. I'm going to go very fast and very short messages to the stakeholders. For the owners, of course, cash is king, and have deep pockets if you are. It's very nice. Do not get into much investments. To management, we have to give a lot of positive leadership. We really have to tell everybody, from the owners to the guests to the staff, that how it is going to be a safe period, and safety should be the main concern. To employees, I think multi-skilling is going to be very, very key factor just now. And this is not the time for hop, step, and jump. So please do not be looking at just doing that kind of a job changing. To vendors, develop low-cost item and good sanitized items. And to the students who are also now very, very concerned and are thinking, will they have enough opportunities for them, especially when they're passing out this year? I want to tell them that be positive. We will always have jobs for youngsters also who are coming in. We do require them. But most important is that they should also look at other services, other service industries. I remember when I went to the Lausanne, and the principal told me that 75% people do not join hotel industries. They join other service industries. And I'm sure, Dilip, you will be seeing that soon also. So I think what they need to really do is, if the hospitality industry is tough at the moment, look at other avenues. And I'm sure there'll be enough careers for them.